I want to continue talking about identity, but tonight I want to share one of my poems with you. I am Gwen Witherspoon, aka Gwen Fuchsius, aka Gwendolyn Fay, poet. And I became a poet in 2004. It was this amazing time when I decided to go on a 40-day television fast. So for 40 days in a row, I did not watch television at all. And about a week in, I had this poetic breakthrough. It was this amazing surprise. I had read poetry a lot when I was a little girl, like literally 8, 9, 10 years old. And I had like my favorite pieces throughout my childhood, but it never occurred to me that I was a poet. And I started hanging out with this amazing group of friends that I still have until today. And I remember we used to have poetic readings at each other's houses. I would bring my favorite Nikki Giovanni books. I love her love poems. That's my favorite book. And we would read our own work. We'd read each other's people's work. We'd write it was just an amazing creative time. But I had no clue that of what was ahead for me once we started having those meetings. But that group of people, that group of creative, God-loving, amazing folks, they were part of, along with that 40-day television fast, they were a part of me becoming a poet. And so I wrote a piece, I wrote a piece called Born Again Poet. And I think that was my breakthrough poem. And so I went through that whole 40 days, and I, at the end of that, I wrote a poem that I thought was going to be for my high school sweetheart who became my first husband. My first, notice I said first, so I have a new relationship. We would go, my wonderful poetic group of friends, we would go to poetic readings. And there was one in particular where this young boy, he was like maybe 16, 17 years old. And he got up on the stage and he sat down. I'll never forget him. He plopped down on this stool on the stage and he said, "This poem is self-explanatory, so I'm just going to let it be itself." I was like, oh, I loved that introduction. It was fire. And so it really marked me. So this poem, Let Me Explain, it's about me discovering my own identity. And I just thought you might enjoy it. I am not who you think I am. The figure that stands before you is a facsimile, a mere shadow, a mirage. You see, it was not my intention to gaze into this morning's mirror and walk away like this. But whatever you see, understand that I am much more than even I can imagine, because I was envisioned by my sweetness. He alone knows me. And I'm not talking about that casual acquaintance. I'm not talking about the casual acquaintance we call knowing, or merely knowing in the biblical sense. I mean, programmed my DNA, sculpted my fingerprints, and put that mole on my midriff as his signature kind of knowing. So please, let me explain. The impression I made at first, or the image you've come to recognize, isn't all there is. If I could put word to the music I hear as love whispers in my ear, you'd be singing my songs and dropping my name. If I wasn't always losing my pen and using my paper to calculate bills, you'd be quoting the wisdom that he brings while I'm putting on my game face. And whether you know it or not, I am great. My believing just has to catch up to myself. Now, let me explain. I am a God. Not the big G, but a little g, because I came out of him. Like India said, I must be fly. It's just that I've been lied to, betrayed, tricked so much that I believed the lie and joined myself to it until I couldn't tell the difference. And I've wasted so much time playing the lead in this tragedy that I actually thought I had to stick to the script. Can I explain? The truth is, I am what I decide to believe. And when I step into my shoes and put on my good garments to begin my dance to the melody he plays only for me, for the pure joy of it, I won't have to explain anymore.